Hello everyone, Twan Michelle here. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you have been here before. If you don't know who I am a psychotherapist and recovery coach, and I help folks who are struggling with codependency, narcissistic abuse, and interpersonal trauma. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about why you ignore red flags. And we do. We do ignore red flags sometimes, and there are reasons for that. And I want to share that with you because I know what that's like. I've been there. And then afterwards, I'm like beating myself up about why I saw the flags and I ignored them. I didn't do anything about the red flags. And there are reasons. It's common. It can happen to all of us. The more we learn about it, the more we understand ourselves and the reasons for our behaviors, then the more we can improve on that. So I'm going to give you guys 10 reasons why you may ignore red flags. Now let's talk about what red flags are. Red flags are signs that are supposed to alert you that something is wrong. For the purpose of talking about relationships, I'll just say there are those early signs in relationships that are indicators that something isn't quite right with this situation or with this person. It may trigger a feeling, an uncomfortable feeling that you have, but it's something that causes you to stop, take notice, and pause, and yet you may overlook it and continue to pursue this person anyway. And I'm not saying that all red flags mean you have to exit, but it's definitely something you want to take note of. And multiple red flags, and depending on the severity of the red flag, may be cause for concern. It may be enough for you to decide to not pursue the relationship any further. So let's talk about why you ignore the red flags. The first reason may be that you simply don't see it. I know that in hindsight, when you look back, you're like, oh yeah, I saw this, I saw that, I should have paid more attention to this. But when you're in it, you may not see it. And there are reasons for that. When you're first meeting someone and you think you're going to have this loving relationship with them, and of course, people show you their best. So that's what you see, that's what you focus on, that's what you choose to see. And if they do something that makes you feel uncomfortable or seems wrong to you in some way, you may completely overlook it. You just may not see it, especially if it's something that doesn't really stand out, may seem like sort of a normal relationship type of issue. Let's say you're dealing with someone who is unwilling to communicate with you. Now, that should be a huge red flag in a relationship, but some people have difficulty communicating, and until they feel safe in a relationship, they may struggle with that. But if someone outright is just unable to express things related to their feelings and they're not willing to share personal things with you, personal thoughts, personal feelings, they're not willing to reciprocate those things in a conversation with you in a relationship, then that is a sign that perhaps this may be more than a communication issue. This may be someone hiding something. This may be someone who doesn't have empathy and is not able to connect on an emotional level. So something that may appear, I guess, normal or something that could be justified, you may not see it as a red flag. But there are things that are also very obvious that we don't see as well. If someone is being dishonest and we catch them in a lie, we may overlook that as well. We may make an excuse for it, rationalize it, justify it in some way, and we just don't see it as a red flag. The second reason you ignore red flags is because a red flag to you doesn't feel like a red flag. A red flag feels like a green flag to you. It feels normal to you. It's familiar to you. You have probably been in relationships with others who were dysfunctional, unhealthy in some way. Maybe you were with other narcissists or maybe you were with other toxic types of individuals, and so that's all you're used to. Maybe those are the only types of relationships you saw and experienced growing up in your home as a child. So red flags to you don't feel like red flags, and it just feels like what's normal in a relationship. The third reason you may ignore red flags is that when you do see them, you go into denial. Denial is a defense mechanism that we use when we feel unprepared or unwilling to deal with something. So we will deny it and we will pretend it's not there. And this is very different than the first sign where I said you just don't see it. Denial is you are almost choosing not to see it. You could see it. It's not like, oh, I saw it and I overlooked it. It's more like my mind can't even go there, so I'm going to deny that I saw what I saw. I'm going to deny that this thing exists. And it's not happening on a conscious level. It is happening on a subconscious level, but you are going into denial because you don't want to see who this person really is. The fourth reason you may ignore red flags is because you think you can fix them and you see this as a challenge. So you may not see the red flag as being something that you should maybe back away from, something that you should be concerned for, something that should make you want to not continue in this relationship. You may see it as something that is a project. Many of us who are drawn to toxic individuals who show us red flags early, sometimes we feel like we can change them, we can fix them, we can rescue them. We are huge empaths, and so we feel for them and we want to improve them. And so you may not see a red flag as a caution or a sign that I don't need to go any further. You may see it as a welcoming challenge. The fifth reason you may ignore red flags in a relationship is that you don't want to be alone. So you may see all the signs that this person isn't good for you. You know it. You're not in denial about it, but you don't want to be alone, so you choose to stay in that relationship. You choose to not confront your partner about the red flags because you don't want to cause any conflict. You don't want confrontation. That may lead to separation. That may lead to you being alone, and you can't handle being alone. You cannot handle loneliness. So you may choose to ignore the red flag. The sixth reason that you may ignore red flags is that you are desperate for love and affection. Until you really work on loving yourself, you are going to seek love, validation, affection outside of yourself. Now, I'm not saying that everybody doesn't want someone to love them, because we all do. But when you don't have love within yourself, for yourself, then you are desperate to feel something that you feel like you've never had. You probably have never felt loved by anyone your whole life. You have not really loved yourself, and you are longing for that so desperately. And you ignore the red flags because you think perhaps, even though this person isn't perfect, even though this person has all these issues, even though I have all these signs that I don't need to go any further with this person, just maybe they'll love me, and I just really need to be loved. And the truth is that they cannot love you. People who show you red flags in relationships are typically people who are unable to have healthy relationships, and they are unable to give you the type of love that you are seeking. The seventh reason you ignore red flags in relationships is because you don't think you deserve any better. You know this person is not good for you. You've tolerated abuse. You've tolerated disrespect. You've tolerated cheating. You've tolerated not having any of your emotional needs met. But you may feel like this is all you can get and you don't deserve any better than this. And so you accept all of the unhealthy behaviors that you are experiencing with this toxic individual. The eighth reason that you may ignore red flags in relationships is that you doubt yourself, you doubt your reality. If you are with someone who is a narcissist, perhaps, they have likely gaslighted you. They have made you doubt your own reality, and they have made you question yourself and wonder if the behaviors that you're seeing, the outright manipulation, disrespect, abuse, if all of these things are actually happening. And they are actually happening. But because you've been brainwashed into doubting yourself and not believing what's right before you, you ignore it. You ignore the signs because you're unsure. The ninth reason you may ignore red flags is that you are experiencing cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when we have two competing beliefs about something or someone or a situation. So if you are with a toxic person, especially someone who is a narcissist, they have shown you their best, their worst. They are hot and cold, good and bad. They go from love bombing to devaluing and abusing you. And you don't know which one to believe. You often go back into your defense mechanism, which is denial, because you don't want to believe that dark side of them. But yet you can't completely believe the bright side of them because you've seen what they're capable of. You've witnessed it, you've experienced it, you've felt it, you've dealt with it. And so you may ignore red flags because you may not accept that the red flags, the signs that this person is not good for you, you may not accept that that's who they really are. Yeah, this person can be really abusive at times and yells at me and puts me down, but I also get surprise gifts, vacations, flowers. You know, we go on great dates together. He can be so loving and nurturing to me. It's hard to accept that this is the same person. So you may ignore the negative behaviors. And the 10th reason you may ignore red flags is that you lack healthy boundaries. You may see the flags and know that they're there, and know that you may even know that you don't deserve all of the horrible things this person is doing to you. But you're unable to put boundaries in place to protect yourself physically and emotionally and mentally from this person. You're unable to directly say, I will not tolerate this behavior, or take action when you need to, or exit the relationship when you need to. You're unable to put boundaries in place to not allow this person to continue mistreating you. Now, that doesn't mean it's your fault, and it doesn't mean it's easy. It just means you're not able to do it. And you can learn how to create boundaries and be firm with them so that you can protect yourself and not allow people to hurt you. So those are the 10 reasons that I have as to why you may be ignoring red flags. There are others, I'm sure. And, again, it does not mean that all of this is your fault. It doesn't mean it's your fault that you're in a relationship with someone who's toxic. It's not your fault that you're trauma bonded to them or stuck with them or can't leave. It's just knowledge for you to have so that you can take it in and consider it and do something with it. You can perhaps start to take notice of red flags more, do something early when you experience red flags with someone. So I just want to share that information with you guys. If you have anything in addition to what I mentioned about why you ignore red flags, put it in the comment section down below. If you have any questions, leave that down below as well. If you found this video helpful and you liked it, give it a thumbs up and share it with others who you think may benefit from it as well. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so What are you waiting on? I would love to have you join our community. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.